Okay, this would be my video 9, merit and excellence questions, and I'm going to look at application of simultaneous equations. Right, so let's solve the problem stage by stage. There is a part 1 to the solution. So each student pays $20 and the adult pays $30. So 20 times x. If x is the number of students, I need to write that down, plus 30 times y that number of adults. That should equate to that costing $650. Say the rate times the number of people. Okay, so I formed one equation. One other equation I can do is x plus y, that means number of students plus number of adults. That should be 27. Now we got to solve simultaneously these two, and what I can do, I can multiply this by 20 so that that coefficient of x is same and they will cancel out each other. And if you could remember, elimination process requires you got to eliminate or remove one of the variables, and I have decided I want to get rid of x, so I'll be left with only y variable. So let's get on with the problem. If I multiply this one by x, 20, that'll give you 20x plus 20y, and if I multiply 27 by 20, that'll give me 540. I'm going to rewrite this. I got to align each variable underneath one another. 20x plus 30y equals 650. That's not very convenient. I am going to subtract this one from 540. After some practice, you'll get used to it. I'm subtracting each term, and that'll give me 20x will cancel out. 30 minus 20y will get me 10y. Y is the number of adults. Okay, so 650 minus 540, that'll give you 110. So y will be I think it's 11. If y is 11, x should be 27 minus 11 gives you 16. So at least we have solved part of the problem. It might give you an achieved level mark. Okay, so let's write down our finding. Y is adults number of adults. You got to write it. I don't have space, so y is number of adults is 11 and number of students equals 16. Now I am getting into the section 2, part 2. Now I'm going to use half of George's group are students. Now we are getting into two groups, students and adults. So half of George's group is they are students and 2/3 of Leo's group are students, right? And if you add them together and if you bring in that number 16 we figured out earlier, that gives you another equation. Now let's think about adults. So if half of George's groups are students, half of George's group will be adults, plus 2/3 of Leo's group were students, so rest of them 1/3 of Leo's group would be adults. Now I'm analyzing adults, and that equates to that 11. Okay, I'm going to write it 11, right? And if I solve it once again, see, step 1, answering for achieved, and step 2 is for progressing towards merit and excellence. Okay, one of the advantages, if I subtract this one from the top one, it'll be half G and half G will cancel out, and 2/3 minus 1/3 will give you 1/3. Leo's group should be equal to 5. So Leo's group, okay, now Leo's group has 15 people. Leo's group has 15 people. Out of those 15 people, Leo's group 1/3, if I'm talking about George's group, the students will be 15 times 2/3. That's the number of students in Leo's group, right? So that'll give you 10. So in Leo's group the number of students is 10 and rest of the 5 people will be adults. That's getting a little complicated, but the thing is that you got to think and figure out. So this is a little bit challenging question. I'll stop there. Thanks.